It looked like he did, I know.
Yeah.
He probably is running right now, maybe for the bus one, I don't know. These Bills, well, they just, I can't figure anything out. Bills fans probably won't want the bye next week. They might demand some sort of pickup game or something at the stadium. Wow, Archell's Raiders did dominate most of this game tonight. Let us not forget, as the Bills go to 4-1 with the 38-24 win. And there's Art, as he saw his team on its second possession cap an impressive 69-yard drive. The timing pass to Willie Galt make it 7-0. Then Rick Tootin punting from his own territory in the second quarter. Watch Steve Tasker crunch Tim Brown. He fumbles. And Chris Hale recovered at the LA 15. And just a couple of plays later, a lesson on determination here. Some of you young guys, watch Andre Reed come back to the ball and reach over Terry McDaniel, the defensive back, and just snag it. It was a little underthrown, but Andre makes up for it on the touchdown that tied the game at 7-7. That was really the only highlight of the first half. Again, Reed coming back for the ball. Beautiful, beautiful effort. Late in the first half, Kelly throwing from deep in his own territory is picked off by Eddie Anderson of the Raiders, and he returns it nicely all the way down to the 3-yard line. The defense almost held, but on fourth down, with 1 second left in the half, Jeff Yeager came on and connected from 19 yards out, and the Raiders led it at halftime 10-7, gaining Buffalo 231-78 in total yardage. They were up 17-7 in the third when Kelly connected with Keith McKellar 15 yards, 17-14. And then in the fourth quarter, the Raiders were up again by 10, and Kelly 42-yard bomb to James Lofton. This with just under 9 minutes to go. Cuts the lead to 3 again, 24-21, and you began to wonder if the same thing could have happened as last week, and boy, did it ever. The defense held the Raiders again. And watch Steve Tasker on the bottom of your screen blow in again and block Jeff Gossett's punt straight into J.D. Williams' arms. He scoops it up and goes in for the touchdown, 28-24. Buffalo, we're not out of the woods yet, though. 22-yard Norwood field goal makes it 31-24. The Raiders then, with Jay Schrader completing a pass here to Willie Galt, are marching to try to tie the game, and Nate Odom says, we're going to do it this way. He steals the ball and takes it in for the touchdown. 38-24 is the final score. The Bills, again, electrifying the crowd and the nation, for that matter, out at Rich Stadium tonight, 38-24. Now, as you know, Mark Kelso hurt pretty badly here on this play, but the definitive word now is he has a fracture and dislocation of the left ankle. He is out a minimum of 4 weeks. That's painful to look at, but Mark Kelso is going to be okay, we hope, and see some action toward the end of the season. Otherwise, everything was coming up roses for the Bills tonight, as they did it the hard way once again.
Well, it would be nice to score 24 points in the first quarter and kind of coast on out from there, but the team has worked hard. They've stuck together and they've pulled together, and we've made some incredible plays that you don't see very often, and that's what it takes to be a championship team.
I felt we had the game in control. I felt we did pretty good as far as moving the ball on the field. We really stopped ourselves a lot of times. We didn't really stop us.
We always like to go out thinking we have the potential to make a big play even at the beginning of the game. But tonight, when it gets into a place where the pressure's kind of on and you really need something to happen, it really makes it all the more sweet when it happens.
And how sweet it was once again for the special teams and defense. 4-1 Buffalo right now. They are off next week on the bye. They are tied atop the AFC East with the Miami Dolphins.
6 minutes left in regulation. Oh, boy! A touchdown will result. They've done it again. They've done it again.
It's incredible. Hello again, everybody. I'm Ed Kilgore. Welcome to a rather late edition of Sports Extra. But if you're a real Bills fan, you're still with us because you just can't get enough. I know how it is. Well, the Bills' remarkable 38-24 win over the previously unbeaten LA Raiders is almost deja vu of last week's comeback win over Denver. Tonight, the Bills scored 24 points in the fourth quarter. It was 20 a week ago, and 28 of the 44 points directly come from the special teams or defense. The victory may have had a price, though. Free safety Mark Kelso suffers an ankle injury on a late interception. The ankle is broken. It's a fracture. It's a dislocation. The Bills say he will be out at least 4 weeks. Of course, it sounds a little more ominous than that, but that is the word we get from the Bills tonight. Now, before we get to the specifics, NFL Commissioner Paul Tagliabue was in town tonight, and one of the questions that he covered was the possibility of an NFL expansion franchise in Toronto, which leads to our question tonight for you. Would an NFL franchise 30, the Bills' defense unable to stop the run or third down conversions, So just like a week ago, another Bills team came out in the second half. The Raiders still wondering what happened on the long flight back home. All right, we're in the first quarter. The Raiders come off the bus running. Marcus Allen, 15 yards through a gaping hole. And then Jay Schrader to Manny Fernandez. Does he make the catch here? Awfully close as Kirby Jackson seems to have the ball wrestle loose, but the officials say the catch is good. 26 yards, then Schrader to Galt. 7-0 Raiders. They drive 69 yards on 6 plays. Then the Bills start a little bit of a drive, and you know who's looking good these days? Jamie Mueller, the slim-down, trimmed-down version, and he is running hard. 9 yards here, but then Jim Kelly, trying to pick up some points, goes deep as he has to scramble to avoid the rush. And this ball is intercepted at the goal line by Eddie Anderson. Now, in that first quarter, the Raiders with 133 yards again, and the Bills with a whopping total of 30. But the Raiders didn't know what was coming, did they? Well, the Raiders dominating the first quarter. The Bills defense, again, as we say, unable to stop the run or the third down conversions. The Bills D, trouble stopping the Raiders on third down. Here's 3rd and 7 from the Raiders. 4, and Steve Smith burst through for 17 yards. Then on 3rd and 2 from the Bills 28, here's Marcus Allen again, 18 yards. The drive stalls, though. However, the Bills cannot move either. So the Bills are going to have to punt. Here's one of the big plays. Steve Tasker, who you'll hear from live in just a moment, with the big hit on Tim Brown. He causes the fumble. Chris Hale pounces on it. Of course, Chris from the Southern California area went to USC. It's at the LA 15. Kelly then with a 13-yard pass. Watch the catch by Andre Reed. Super, 7-7. And then the Bills get the ball back, and before the half they're trying to add some points, but then Kelly is intercepted again by Anderson. Kelly runs it all the way back to the Bills 2, and who tackles him but the quarterback Jim Kelly with the hit. On 3rd and goal from the Bills 2, the D stacks him up, so Kelly's tackle actually saves a touchdown as the Bills hold the Raiders to the Yeager field goal, and it's 10-7 at the half. Now, just like a week ago, another Bills team came out in the second half. The Raiders still wondering what happened, as we mentioned, on the long flight. The third quarter did not start well for the Bills, however. The Raiders drive, and Fernandez makes a great catch. Watch him here at the 3-yard line, despite the hit from Kelsel that knocks off the extra padding on his helmet. Marv Levy is upset here, but Marcus Allen takes it in, and the Raiders have a 17-7 lead. But then the Bills' offense gets cranked up after being dormant. Kelly to ex-Raider James Lofton for 18 yards on the crossing pattern. And then Thurman Thomas starts getting some room and runs hard. Thurman finishes with 67 yards on 15 carries. And then Kelly hits tight end Keith McKellar here for the touchdown. And again, a nice catch by the diving McKellar at 17-14 Raiders. The Bills drive 78 yards in 7 plays. Now, for that amazing fourth quarter, this time, not one of the 80,076 fans left. Now, we can't verify that, but that's just a guess. Less than 250 no-shows tonight at Rich Stadium. The Bills blow a coverage. Schrader hits Willie Galt for 32 yards to the Bills' 8-yard line, but Nate Odoms would more than atone for that in just a little bit. On third down, the Bills hold, but Kirby Jackson caught holding away from the play, so instead of it being 4th down and a possible field goal, it's 1st and goal. So Schrader here with a very nifty play-action fake, and he hits Steve Smith, who's open in the corner of the end zone. It's 24-14 Raiders, but again, little did they know what would be happening. The Bills march right back. Now, this Raiders defense had been almost impenetrable in the first 4 weeks of the season. 80 yards in 5 plays, and Lofton praised that Raiders defense.
He's a good defensive back. I don't know where people got the notion that we could get behind him, but, you know, they have some quality players, and we were fortunate to get some scores on them today.
All right, so the Kelly to Lofton pass covering 42 yards for the touchdown, and once again, it's the Bills' defense and special teams setting the tone as the offense is now in gear, and for the second straight week, Cornelius Bennett becomes a dominant force. Watch him here as he cuts across and makes the stop on third down, tackling Allen to force a punt. And then, again, special teams ace Steve Tasker, who'll be telling us how he did this, makes the block. J.D. Williams, who seems to be in the right place at the right time a lot of the time, is gone. It's 28-24 Bills with 6:52 to play. Now then Bennett sacks Schrader and forces the fumble with the good second effort. And watch him as Bennett recovers the loose fumble as well. Bennett with 6 tackles, 2 sacks, 2 forced fumbles on the recovery. The Bills settle for a field goal to lead 31-24. Then Nate Odoms with another huge play as he just steals the ball from Galt. Goes 49 yards. It's 38-24 Bills. That is a fumble recovery, not an interception. Bennett then comes up with yet another sack and forces another fumble. However, the Raiders are able to get this one. And then this is the only down note on the game, as watch the right ankle of Mark Kelso here as he comes down hard on it. And again, that ankle is fractured. He will be out at least 4 weeks. But again, the good news, the biscuit is back, and he talked about it after the game.
Trying to become a championship football team, and championship football teams are able to overcome odds like that. That's what San Francisco has been able to do in the past, and we're trying to gain some, respect around the league like the 49ers.
All right, and here you see Mike DeGeorge standing by out at Rich Stadium. And Mike, are some of the people still partying out there, or you think they're worried about work tomorrow morning?
I don't know about work. A lot of the people have off with Columbus Day being tomorrow. I think a lot of people still in the parking lot still having a good time. Stadium is rather quiet right now. You just heard Cornelius Bennett mention about championship football teams, and championship football teams make big plays on special teams, and the Bills made 2 big ones tonight. And with us is the man who made those 2 big plays, Steve Tasker. Steve, let's talk about the first one. The Bills were trailing 7-0 about midway through the second quarter. Not much was going right. Let's talk about that play. What happened there? You forced a fumble on Tim Brown.
Yeah, Rick got off a good punt, and we were lucky that the punt came to my side. I was able to get upfield, and they have a couple of good double-team guys. They're a man-to-man club, and they get a lot of work double-teaming guys on punt coverage. So I was really fortunate to get downfield, and the punt was actually right in front of me. All I had to do was run straight down from where I lined up. I didn't have to run across the field to get it or anything. And when he caught it, I was lucky to be right there, and I had my hand on him. I didn't know he dropped the ball until I looked up and saw the reaction of the other players. And you can always tell when the ball's on the ground by the way the guys are acting. So I knew it was a good play then, and I knew that would give our offense a chance. I knew we were going to come away with points then.
Chris Hale makes the recovery, and it's been a tough week for Chris Hale, but not too many people knew this.
No, I'm real proud of Chris. He played real well, and he had a terrible loss this week. His grandmother passed away, and he had to leave town for a day, in fact. And I want him to know our prayers are all with him, and he can be very proud of the way he played tonight in the midst of a tragedy.
Then in the fourth quarter, 24-21, the play of the game. You come in untouched, and you told me that's how the Raiders play it. They leave a guy like that.
Yeah, they have a lot of confidence in their punter, and well, they should. He's a great punter. He has a lot of quick get-off times, and I gambled on cutting it as short as I did, and he stepped up the field, which made it even shorter distance for me to cover. And as you can see, I had to lay out anyway and get there. He had a good get-off time. It was a quick punt to get off, and I was able to make the play. But it was really nice to see J.D. pick that up and run, because I knew I didn't have to chase him.
So the Raiders' strategy basically is that you're out far enough that they don't think that you're going to be able to get in there.
Right, it's just too far to run to block the punt, especially when he gets the ball off as quick as he does.
Okay, before we go, I got to show you one thing. There was one after effect of that block punt by Steve Tasker. Show him, Steve, right here. That's right there is the seam of the football.
That's the seam of the football across my arm there. That's where I got it. Yeah.
Okay.
But that's one you can live with.
Well, of course, now you've got the extra week off, so you can take some time, huh?
Yeah, it's nice. I have plenty of time to heal up. Yeah, it'll be fun. It'll be interesting to see how we handle it. We'll see how it goes around the league.
Steve, good ball game, and best of luck in 2 weeks against the Jets.
Thank you.
Thanks for staying around.
All right, Mike.
Okay, Ed, that's the story out here at Rich Stadium. Back to you in the studio.
That's amazing, the definition there. You can see that Paul Tagliabue right there on his elbow.